Okay, we'll just go straight in with the first Saburi, real slow. So just breathe in the back and cutting down. Take it nice, slow, just in your own time. Sorry, no. That's it. Hey, Serena. Nice. Okay, good. And just one practice you can do with this, in terms of the movement and making it kind of a finishing cut. One of the problems with the Saburi, in a sense, is that it's kind of repetition. And I go into these kind of patterns of just going drum, bum, 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 and kind of counting through the movement. So one practice you can do in this is basically start in a kamae, roll to the back, cut down with the finish, really give yourself time in the finish, and then come back into the kamae, and then start everything over again. So really go from the cut position to a kamae position. I'm really just doing like one cut each time. So really focusing the cut as a kind of finishing cut, and then coming back into the kamae. Finding the back and back into the kamae. So really, in one sense, trying to really finish the cut through the cut, and also trying to really generate a sense of calm through the move. So with no real rush through it. Really take your time through it. Moving from kamae to the cut and back into the kamae. Good. Great. Good. Hey, roll it. That's it. Very nice. Good. Nice. Good. Okay, go to the second Suburi. So in this case, rolling back to the Jodan Kamai, reach in the back, and in this case, do the same thing. Find the cut, and then come back into the posture. So just really calmly through the second Suburi. Really take your time with it. Just make all the positions super clear. Okay, give it a try. Number 2. Good. Yeah. Okay, good. And in this Suburi, just really be very conscious of the back of the body. So again, all the movement should come from the back. So what you do in the first Suburi is really kind of establishing the back line of the body and then pressing it forward and down. Now in this case, what you're doing is finding that back line and then really moving it forward. So, but really have a sense, it's very easy in this case because the arms are front forward and the cut's very much in the front. So just go into the front of the body and let the front take over. But in this case, really have the feeling from this very first moment of pressing back with the body and then pressing back. So you press forward from the back. So really try and use this movement to establish, again, the back line of the body. Really have a sense from the back, from the spine, now presses forward and down. But really get a sense of kind of waving the cut from the back of the body. This way. And try and balance it with the front. But don't allow the front to kind of take over. So really use the first movement to really find the back of the body, and then really feel that the back presses in this way. So push forward from the back in this case. Give it a try. So just try and feel what's going on in the back. Try and motivate the movement from there. Yeah. Good. Very nice. Great. Good. Okay, go to number 5. So into a Yoko Minuchi. And again, really trying to bring the back of the body into the cut. So really getting the feeling now of advancing, now with a step from the back leg. And just making the Yokomen cut. So the sword circularly and the body really advancing, pressing forward. And really do it with a sense of the ground, connecting the cut. Keep it very calm, but with a feeling really of pressing forward into the cut. Yeah, give it a try. Yokomen uchi. Good. Good. Okay, now do the same thing, but you're going to do 2 cuts together. So you're going to start in the right side. I just want you now to come in, cut, and then cut again a second time. So you're going to make 2 cuts in consecutive movements this way. Really have a sense of it finishing and then pull back from it. So really get a sense you're going to press in left side, press in on the right side. So from this position, just move. And just move into the cut. Still kind of in a basic level, but a little bit more flow into the movement. So use the kind of percussive strike on the left side to lead you into the second one. And then come back. Yeah, just take your time with it. Give it a try. So cutting left, right, consecutively. Okay, good. Okay, and just check there's one kind of specific in this, just in terms of the foot on the left side, because when I move into it, I need to basically press my entire weight into this foot, and it basically means I need to press the weight into the whole foot. The whole foot needs to have this feeling of relaxing and releasing through it. Now, just really make sure when you move into it that I'm not in kind of one part of it. So in this case, I can be in the kind of edge of the foot, and then I'm in really like the front two, the little toes of the front and the side of the foot. And then as I try and transfer weight, the foot's really unstable through it. So really get a check on when you place the left side foot that I'm not on just kind of one part of it, or I'm not in the kind of just the ball or just in the toes, but I really have a sense of placing the whole foot down into the ground. So really have a sense that when you place it, you're really going to place it kind of as if you kind of place it carefully, kind of heel, the arch comes down and then the ball comes down and then the toes kind of press in. And then as I transfer into it, it just releases down. And if in any way I'm in a kind of just one part of it, or more of my weight shifted to the outside or the inside, then the knee's going to feel very unstable. And then my movement has this kind of jerkiness to it. And also it slows me down later. So just get a sense when you applying this cut that you really have a sense that through the cut you release into the whole foot and then you press out of it. Especially on the left side, because I'm about to go into another cut. So really get a sense of kind of calmness through the front foot, and just check whether you're on kind of one part or the inside or the more in the back, and just get a feeling that you can land the weight into the entire foot. Okay, give it a try.
Thank you.
I should be able to move without tension. You just feel like I can just press weight through it. Good.
Michael?
Yeah.
It feels almost like sinking into a soft mattress.
Aha. Good. Good. Yeah. Those feelings, like also the feeling. It's a bit like my foot become, like an elephant's foot. like a kind of spongy foot this way. It's like the whole foot kind of, a bit like a kind of sucker. If I can get the whole foot into the ground, it's a bit like, it sucks into it. And yeah, and then I kind of press into it. That's good. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Okay, good. And then just really take this into movement now. You're gonna, with the back foot, with the right foot, the trailing leg. This one now doesn't fully ground. So normally in the basic, come down and fully ground both feet, and then move into the next movement. But in this case, what you're gonna do with the trailing leg, you're gonna find this leg into the ground, and then you're just gonna press into the ball of the foot. So the heel doesn't really press into the ground, and then I just transfer the weight into the front leg and press into the next cut this way. So you're gonna go, still really ground the front foot, but the back foot just goes into the ball of the foot. So just try this now in movement. Yeah. On the last cut, ground both feet. But in the middle cut, just in the ball, in the back foot. Now it really matters that I ground the front foot. If the front foot's not grounded and I'm not in the back foot either, then I'm really unstable. And then I end this kind of sense of being like on a beam. But really get a sense you're going to ground the front foot, and then the back foot's really supporting his mobile. And just presses into the ball of the foot. This way. Yeah, give it a try. So now this the second cut's really dynamic. Just working in the ball of the foot. Good. Okay, and then get the strike. You can now really make the cut as fast as you can now. So what you're gonna do, what we did before, is like this, and pressing into it. Now you're just gonna kind of continue the cut straight away. This, straight down. This is a little bit like I just kind of walk through the movement. So it's a bit like this way. This is kind of now fully dynamic in the feet. This, and then come back. We're really doing kind of two sharp bursts of movement. This. And in terms of the hip work, really traveling down the line. This. And then come back. This. So the footwork's now totally mobile throughout. It's grounded, but it's not, I'm not pausing to ground. Okay, give it a try. Just try it kind of this way. You can also do this slow. It's not really about speed, it's about mobility. The feet are now really mobile through it. Okay, now it's very easy for the arms to take over because it's speed and the arms are very fast. The arms start to kind of take over and do the movement. And then this becomes kind of hacking movement. So it becomes like a kind of hacking movement. And I forget all the structure that I've trained before. So in this sense, really, you can also do this slowly, but just have a sense of them still being striking, slicing cuts. This. So still fully completed. And again, still really doing the movement with the back of the body. So it's very easy in this case to get caught up in the front and come off. So really get a sense, in this case, the back still motivating the movement. So have a feeling that the cut's actually coming from the spine. This kind of movement. So really press the body from the back and allow the arms to follow. But any kind of tension in the arms will pull me up and forward. So really try and sink the movement down and back. Yeah, give it a try. So keep it. And just feel free to try and travel down the level. So you can do this really basic. You can do it in a kind of flowing way, and then you can do it full speed, full flow. Right. Okay, and it's also kind of important that the quality shifts through the levels as well. So it's not the case that you just speed up the same action and then you've got the kind of kinonogari form, you've got the flowing form. It's really a case that you shift the quality of it. So it's also the quality of work in the center. In this case, the real basics, the center is really the center comes and then grounds and then goes again, and really a sense of grounding. Now, in the case of the flowing movement, the feeling is the sword doesn't stop. So I pulse into the center and then I pulse out of the center this way. But the center still has this sense of grounding and pulsing and then moving again. In case of the full flow, the quality of the center is it just doesn't stop. So the sword doesn't stop and the center doesn't stop. It just carries through. So in a sense, the center just presses straight through. But it's like changing gear. You've got to really change the quality and the movements. Otherwise, what happens is I do the same movement and I just speed it up. And it actually doesn't work. So really try and change, really see that there's a quality shift in the movement. So when you go from basic, when you go to flowing, and then when you go to full flow, there's really a difference in the quality. Yeah, give it a try. So just kind of explore the levels now. Really get a feel for what the center's doing. Very nice. Great. Okay, we go to number 7. In this case, normally you start by going into the Jodan Kamai. In this case, just slide forward with the front leg and find a yokomen this way. Fully ground the feet, and then you're going to go into the ski this way. So just from this position, just shift the hips forward and create a yokomen here. Grounded the cut, and then shift from the back leg and find the thrust. So just pressing forward. This way. And just give yourself really time to ground the movement down and then with the thrust. Yeah, give it a try. So number 7, really in basic form. And nice. Great. Okay, I'm really just going to trying to try and release the thrust. So in this sense, the cut, most of you got the sense of releasing and extending through the cut, and then somehow there's a sense of just kind of constricting through the thrust. So really get a sense of releasing through the thrust. So this way, this way. So ground everything, but really have a sense of extension out. So the thrust is really going to be expressed out through the body. Something leaves the body, so it's also a kind of releasing movement. Or like hold it. But in this case, really have a sense of boom, something leaves. This. But still with a good structure, so really get a sense of a kind of piercing movement. This way and out. Yeah, give it a try. So just a little bit more emphasis in the thrusting move. This way. This way. Really get a sense of piercing through something. Give it a try. Yes. Good. Hey. Okay, this is also kind of symptomatic of being too rigid on the sword. So if the cut, in a sense, I have a sense of rigidity in the hand, and then I continue that motion here. So it's like the hands are just gripping onto the sword, and it's a bit like clinging to the sword. Now the movement looks a bit like this. So the hands have a sense of just clinging through the movement. Really get a sense that here the grip is fixed and solid, but as soon as I go into movement, the grip is soft again. So you go from a kind of the best teacher for this is the first suburi. So as soon as you move, the hands are releasing. So when the sword's in motion, the hands are very soft on the sword. The hands are very soft, and then as soon as I'm in an impactive movement, then the hands are coming into a fixed move. But really get the sense that you're going to go from this tight feeling in the hands to releasing this way, and this will kind of unlock the movement. So just for the first few, you can also try just to get this feeling, really get a sense of cutting in strongly, and then just release the hands through the movement, and don't worry about the final fix on the thrust. Just get a sense of releasing through the hands. So there's a kind of real softness in the hands as soon as I start to move into the thrust. This. So something kind of releases in the hands. Otherwise, I just strangle the sword through the movement. That's it. Nice. Good. And then just really get a sense of focusing in the end. So you've got this feeling, focusing here, releasing through this movement. The hand's quite sore. And then as you come into the thrusting movement, the hands come back into a full focus, full focused grip. So you go from a focus grip release to a focus grip. There's again a kind of pulsing through the system, through the feet and the hands together. So there's a sense the weight is received in the feet, and the focus is fixed into the hands. So this kind of pulsing works with the hands and the feet. This way, this way. So this kind of release through the body, release with the hands, and then I fix with the hands. Or focus with the hand. Focus is a better word. Don't fix. Focus, release, focus. Yeah, just give it a try. So focusing now on the focus, on the end of the thrust. Good. Yeah, good. Thanks. Good. Yeah. Good. Oh, okay, and then just to take it into a flowing form, you do the same thing. So you slide forward now. Before was grounding both the feet, back feet, and then coming forward with the thrust. Now in this case, the support leg's the left leg. You're just going to press into the ball of the foot. So again, just really making sure you ground the whole foot in the front, and then the back leg, the support leg, just presses into the heel through the cut, and then I release through the foot this way. So just try now making these flowing together. This way. So really ground in the front foot and just finding the ball of the back foot. This way. Finding the impulse in the cut into the ground and then out. This way. I gave it a try. Just blend them together now. This. Go ahead. Good. Nice. Super. And push. And push. Pass. Good. And again, the feeling this one is if you watch the sword, that it doesn't really stop through the movement. So in the case of this, the sword kind of stops and then I restart the movement again. What you're going to do is pulse through the cut and then into the thrust. So there's really a sense that from this moment, the sword's just in movement. A little bit too fast, but in this case, have a sense that the sword never really stops. So there's no kind of rest for the sword. My center rests at this point, but the sword doesn't. I just pulse out of it. So really get a sense from this calm moment, the sword's still. And then as soon as I'm in movement, the sword's also in movement. This way, right until the end. This way. And you can do this real slow. But the sword doesn't stop in this case. Yeah, give it a try. That's the kind of test of the fluid motion. whether you do with the Bokken or the Jo, the flow, if the sword or the weapon is in movement, this is kind of the test of the flowing forms. Nice, nice, nice. Great, very good. Ah, good, Roland, good. Yeah, good, got it. Good, and then again to go to the kind of next steps, really when you're going to flow into the movement directly. So you're going to now just press in, press out this way. So the cut's now very direct. You press in, press out. And this is really just like walking. So you take a step this way. Yeah, so really flow the movements together now. You press in, press out. And again, very direct with the hips. The hips are going to kind of just snake through the movement. Yeah, give it a try. So you can start slowly and then just build up the pace that you can deliver the blows in the same kind of time. But now the center doesn't stop at all, just presses straight through. That's nice. Good. Okay, do the same form. Just add one more cut to it. So you're going to now do a yokomen, ski, yokomen. So just do 3 movements. Actually, the yokomen ski part of this is actually quite easy because you just kind of fall into it. Don't go that way. As long as I can get the hips to spiral, it's quite an easy movement. But to come out from this position into another strike, this is quite a difficult position. So just explore now from basic and flowing this way, and then kind of full flow this way. Yeah, and just explore 3 movements. So yokomen, ski, yokomen, and just explore between the 3 levels. So basic, flow, and kind of full speed, full flow. Give it a try. Hey. 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 Very nice. Good. Okay, good. So we'll look at the other side of the first movement from the kumitachi we did yesterday. So the very first move in the defender's side to give this opening, and then drawing back with the cut. The flip side of this with the attacking side is that as the sword's raised, the opening's off, and you're going to strike in for the stomach this way, for the solar plexus this way. So in this case, you're in the right side hammy. You step in with the left leg this way, across, and really with a feeling of striking out for the stomach this way. So just this very first movement, just to practice, just the foot coming out and snapping with the sword. So pressing into the front foot, releasing this way. This way. Yeah, and just this very first movement. This way. So really coming off the line and snapping the sword here. This way. Yeah, give it a try. Very first move. Or half of a movement. This is half of a movement. Aha, good, 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 good. Nice. Okay, good. And in this case, just be careful. What I don't want to do is pull the sword back and then bring the sword in. If I do this kind of movement, which is actually very slow, coming back and then pushing through with the sword, during this time, the purpose of the defender's movement, this movement here, is to slam the sword. So if your sword is left here, by pulling back and then coming forward, basically in this motion, the sword will be cut down this way into the ground. So if the defender's really connected, they'll be able to catch the sword. So what you need to do is from this point, just press in with the sword this way. This way. So this is connecting to the hip this way, but it's not connecting by pulling back and slashing across. It's really connected, a bit like when we do this movement. So pressing in this way, but in this case, I deliver the movement this way. But don't pull the sword back and then push it out. Just connect flexibly with the arms here and this. Really get a sense that this point connected to this, and bam. It's a really fast strike. You have very little time striking in this way, that way. Yeah, just a few more. But really make this kind of instant, and try not to pull the sword back. That's yeah, good. Yeah, good. Yeah, good. And if you can think of the impact is actually going to be in front of you. So this is the line. I'm basically going to deliver the blow here. So this point of the sword is basically following that down the line this way. So I'm not going to deliver the blow off to the side. So in this case, it's not this way, but it's really a sense that I'm delivering a blow to the front this way. Yeah, so I really get a sense that there's something in front of you and you're striking it this way, really with this part of the sword. This way. Really get a sense there's a kind of object in front, and I kind of strike that point here, this way. Yeah, give it a try. So the target's right in front of you. And you step off to the side to avoid the sword. Yeah, there we go. Good. Yeah. That's it. Great. Good.
you stay there, I can use your solar plexus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Clunk. That way. Exactly, yeah. Dunk. That way.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay, good. Everyone's got it. Super. Okay, good. So now you're going to bring the trail leg into it. So this is really one movement. You're going to go here, and then with the feet, this way. Brings the arms together. So you're in this position. The back foot just drags in, and this moves the arms up this way, above the head. This is a bit like sitting on a high stool, like a big bar stool. So you strike in here, and then bring everything together, just above the head. Yeah, really sit into the body here. And just to this position. So really taking this calmly, striking out, and then drawing everything up, just to this position. So you're relaxed down, spine's extended, and you just relax into the ground. It's a strange position. It's a kind of transition position. So it's a transition to another movement, but I should feel like I can just release the body down into the movement. Just give this a try. You do this in 2 steps. 1, and then feel that you just drag the whole body this way. Yeah, give it a try. You should feel at the end you can just release down into it. So it's not a kind of holding position. It's a resting position. Yeah, that's it. Good. 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 Very nice.
Michael?
Yeah.
In that resting position, are you facing slightly away from the center line?
Yeah. In this case, I'm not in this position. So I'm not. My center line's not. Facing the person. In this case, they're basically. If I keep the center line on, then it's impossible to keep the sword off the center line. So in this case, the sword will just get slammed again. So if in this movement I do this kind of thing, then the sword's just still on the line, and it basically gets slammed, and then the sword gets pressed into my head as well at the same time. So what I do in this case is really come off the line, and my center's also aligning just off this way. Just off this way. So I'm really just following the movement here and then here. And then the person's basically in the kind of peripheral vision this way. And then the next move is to come back onto the line. This is basically a really this is kind of a transition position. So it's not really a position that I will hold later, but it's a kind of transition to the next cut. Okay. So this is just offline, yeah. There we go. Good. That's it. Great. Sorry. Good. Okay, good. And then we'll go to the next move. So this is basically a way to continue my attack. This way, I come to here. Now the person's drawn back into this movement. What I do is release from the back hip, sink the weight down here, and then slash down here. This is a strike either to the head, more commonly to the wrist. So if you think of the person, they've come from here and they're in this position. They're still quite close. So the first target is really the front hand. So I'm looking to do is hit the front hand in this case. So you come here, roll the body up into this position, and then from here, sink the weight into the right side leg, and then come down and press for the cut this way. So it goes 1, 2 here, sink the weight down, release the hip, and strike down for the wrist. Yeah, give it a try in your own time. Goes 1, 2, 3. Give it a try. Yes. Good. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, good. And we'll finish the movement. So in this case, you come here for the head, strike down for the wrist, and then you're going to come really off the line. Right leg comes forward, and this is a strike down for the head this way. So this is coming really off the line. Do it on the line. This way here. Now come in here, rotating in, striking for the wrist, and then really leaving the line right side and going for the head and cutting down this way. So now in 3 moves. Goes here for the wrist, and then off the line, really for the head. This way. Yeah, give it a try. So 3 attacks. Hey. Hey. Nice. Great, great, great. Okay, good. And in the basic sense, if you there's a kind of feeling really you're the attacker in this role. So the feeling with my center and hip work is just constantly pressing in for the attack. So I'm constantly just looking to find my next attack. So in this case, there's no sense of kind of pulling back and retreating. So there's just a really sense of forward and through for the attack. So really get a feeling you're going to press through with the hips. Press through with the hips. So you're really advancing and it's kind of aggressive. You're really, in a sense, the attacker in this one. Really, your intention is really forward to strike and find the next attack. So you're just really finding through the footwork, this feeling of just forward and attacking in a kind of intelligent way. This way. Keep the kind of sense of pressure forward. Wash. Good. Very good. Yeah, good. And then about just the last few minutes, just play within the level. So you've got the kind of, in a basic sense, similar to what we did before, where you're really grounding the feet. So in each cut, grounding through the feet. Grounding through the feet. Now as you go into a kind of fluid form, that the footwork is going to kind of pulse. This way. I keep the kind of straight, the same kind of basic form, but I just kind of pulse through the feet. This way. And then as you go to kind of full flow, the center just presses straight through. This way. This way. yeah, so just explore these 3 levels, see if you can kind of work the same basic structure we did with the Suburi work in terms of going from basic to flow to full flow, full fat, full flow. You do the same now. Just explore it, and you can break the movement down into parts. Just explore it. Just explore these movements, basically going from static to flow. And it's really just the work of the center with the feet. Try and really shift the quality between the movements. Good. That's it, Serena. Great. Very nice. Good. Good. And again, this point about the handwork, if my hands are kind of tense on the sword, it will create real tension in the hands and the cutting work. Starts to drag the body out. So really get a sense that it's only really when you're making the impact, the sword, the hands are really firm on the sword this way. And then as long as I'm in movement or the sword's in movement, the hands are very loose. So really get a sense now of the kind of pulsing through the hands. As long as the sword's in movement, keep the hands quite light on the sword. And it's only really the impact percussive work that the hands are really focused. This impact and this impact. But in order to kind of have any sense of speed later, the hands need to be very, very free on the sword. The sword needs to be free in a sense. So just practice in this way. Actually, just practice an exercise. Forget the footwork, just the last 30 seconds or so. Just practice kind of moving the sword. Forget about the footwork. You can move them a little bit, but just practice moving the sword, connecting the center. And then really just have a sense of focusing into the hands and then releasing. So you're going to really like focus, release, focus, release, focus, release, focus, release, focus, release. So it's, in a sense, this is like striking. When I'm in movement, the hands can be quite loose. And it's just the point of impact when I kind of deliver power through the strike. Deliver power through. So it's really a sense of kind of snapping through the weapon. But as long as the sword's in movement, they're relaxed. So I want no tension in the sword, in the arms. So just move freely and kind of snap. Snap the sword. Snap the sword through the grip and then release it.
I have to leave, Michael.
Okie dokie, we're going to finish.
See all of you. Bye.
See you soon. Very good. Okay, good. We'll finish. That's just something you just play with this as well. This is something that is just a way to train this skill of really pulsing through the hands. Practice. What you're really practicing is like this, and then releasing it. This, releasing it. This, releasing it. And it's actually the work that's done with the center too. So the center's also doing the same kind of pulsing. This and releasing. And you want this is basically to keep the body free and the sword with a sense of freedom through the movement. Okay. Good. Hi. Domo. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Domo. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much.